Yes guys, hello, welcome back to the channel. This is the EOSwriter.io and as you can see we've got our new site which is available now. The other site's got slightly different tiles. We're kind of integrating at the moment, so just bear with us on that. But we also have on the phone right now Chris Dawe. He is from Effect.ai. How you doing, Chris?
Doing fantastic, Max. Thanks for having me on yet again.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure having you on, man. We love the enthusiasm, but today we're just going to do what we're going to do every week now. So we're going to whiz through all the news. And what we're going to start with, let me scroll down to it. We're going to start with the EOS Expo. So the World Expo, San Francisco, from the 12th to the 14th of April has just finished yesterday. Awesome stuff. There's a few videos out there. We'll put something in the description, but let's just talk about it. Like, you know, I watched a few videos. Chris was doing a presentation. He was talking about Effect.ai. And what do you think? How do you think it was, dude? You did a little presentation. We saw a lot of people there. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I saw some live videos from EOS Phoenix, which was really fun for them to be able to bring me to the venue and kind of, they were doing some interviews with people, so that was fantastic. It looked like a lot of fun. It looked like all the usual suspects in the ecosystem who I only met once at the hackathon in London. I'm really sad to have missed it because it looked like a blast. The feedback that I'm getting from the venue was fantastic. It sounds like it was really well organized. Some of the people that were there were people that don't make it out so often. So yeah, it was fantastic. And we did do a presentation yesterday. I guess it was morning time for them over there in San Francisco. It was evening time for us. Very well received. People laughing, cheering. It was a good old time. So yeah, hopefully I'll make it over there next year for the event.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're over in Europe, so we could have gone, but it's like I think most of us are going to go to Washington. But I'm looking at the turnout now. You know, like Mythical Games were there, Chintai, Animate, NewGit, Start EOS. There was a whole bunch of different people there at the event. Like it was a good turnout, and like I wanted to mention one specifically. What was it? Patrios. I think seeing Patrios there as well. I think a lot of the content creators are waiting for Patrios. You know, the Patreon problem with all like the censorship and stuff. Patrios, the online EOS version, it's going to be exciting anyway. But yeah, so let's move on to the next thing. So that's the EOS Expo. So next thing, so Moonlighting is a new DApp. Well, it's not a DApp, it's an application for freelancing of work. So similar to, what's it called? It's similar to Fiverr and also similar to Airtasker, which was another project which is in the UK. But really good to see. So they got 700,000 users. Obviously, not all of them are going to like get an account with EOS, but it's a really good thing to see these big projects moving onto the EOS platform. And I read their article why they moved, and it's exactly why we want. They moved because EOS is free, scalable, and good for the end user. It's just awesome to see. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's great. Listen, the freelance market is growing exponentially. I think I looked at some numbers recently, and something like 42% of employed people in the United States are freelancing. So if you look at employment and you look at the history of work compared to the future of work, 300 years ago we were working the field primarily. 100 years ago we're in those silly, dirty, gross factories. Nowadays we're in offices, which is a little bit better than the factories. But tomorrow in the future of work is really freelance work. So it's great to see this project join the decentralized ecosystem and run this on EOS. Looks good.
Yeah, it's 100%. Because like, if we can build, EOS is the perfect platform for that. Because if you can take out the middleman, like everyone can be kind of transacting peer to peer. So like, it's going to be an awesome future. I 100% agree with you. So yeah, next thing we're going to talk about is Coinbase. Right, Coinbase have just listed EOS on Coinbase Pro. Massive news for the space. Obviously, it's going to bring in more liquidity, and also it's showing how Coinbase is readying up for moving EOS integrated into their platform, or hopefully into the next step, which will be the main site. But so they've recently announced EOS, but they've also recently announced the cryptocurrency debit card they're going to release. So this is like it's like two things in one, really. You've got EOS being integrated and you've got a card. So potentially, we're going to be able to be spending our EOS out in town. Obviously, most people won't want to be spending their EOS at this point. It's more of an investment for the long term. But again, it's just reinforcing the fact that cryptocurrency is coming. In the future, hopefully it'll be crypto to crypto payments, but crypto to fiat's still a good thing. Like, do you think you'll use one of the cards, Chris?
Yeah, listen, man. At the beginning of my journey with this project, I started going to a few meetups, and I met the guy Julian Hosp from 10x, and he also had like a partnership with Visa and his card, and we got a card from the guy, and we went out on Friday nights buying beers and stuff with our Ethereums and our other cryptocurrencies. So yes, I will use it. I will not spend any of my EOS. I'm very committed to not spend those guys. But yes, I have a lot of holdings and want to start transacting more and more with cryptocurrencies. So yeah, very exciting news, and incredible that EOS is finally on Coinbase. So yeah, it's very exciting.
It's bullish, yeah. Like you said, like you're not going to spend your EOS. The thing is with EOS, like I see like EOS be more of a having so much utility within chain that I don't really see EOS being used as a currency as much. It still has a use case for that, but because there's so much utility for you, say Effect.ai, you need the tokens, to have your resources, have your dApps, have your DSPs working on it. So I think like maybe, it'll be a good place to have like other cryptos, like maybe use Bitcoin or, Bitcoin Cash to do your transactions. But yeah, if you're buying beers with EOS, it doesn't feel right buying a beer with EOS.
No, definitely not, man. That could turn out to be like a $10,000 beer. So let's not do that.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so moving on to the next thing. So we have got the EOS User Agreement has changed. So this is really, really big news. Like this has been, there's been talks about this for probably about, 6-7 months, maybe, I think when the first constitution was seen, everybody was like, okay, well, this isn't really what we wanted. And it's been like that ever since. But now today, well, not today, but the last few weeks, the block producers have confirmed that they've changed the EOS constitution to the new EOS User Agreement, which was written by EOS New York. I've had a quick skim through. I think you said you had a quick skim through as well, Chris, but not like 100%. But to be honest, like regardless of what it says in the Constitution, now in the user agreement, it's just good to see it actually change so quickly. Like, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the governance level, the BPs coming to work and showing that they're actively involved, and it's the BPs that are actually writing this literature and these agreements and constitutions and applications and these things. I think it's absolutely amazing. Congratulations to EOS New York. Congratulations for everybody that voted. And also, I will say this. I think that people are just when they call people out for non-participation. I think that these systems and this network is only going to work if people actively get involved. You don't need to vote. You can vote no, you can abstain. That's totally fine. But you need to be actively involved if you're going to get my vote at the very least. So I saw that EOS Canada did not vote for it, but then at least they communicated why they did not. And I thought that was incredibly great for them to do. So yeah, this is very exciting times to see things that are implemented, suggested and then implemented. Congratulations to all. Congratulations to the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, EOS Canada haven't come out and they've said, well, they haven't voted for it, but they've said the reasons why. And that is like in itself pretty cool because that's, it's like knowing who the miners are. Like on any other chain, you have no idea who the miners are, and they vote with their money, basically, the miners, their vote, their weight of their hash rate. So to see that, we've got a way we can have a transparent system where we can see who hasn't voted for certain things and hold them to it. Do you know what the reason was why they didn't vote for it?
Yeah, because it was in their initial in their initial writings of what they stand for and who they are. They said that they wouldn't take part in the changing of the Constitution because it's still kind of the early days. I think it was something, don't quote me on it, but it was completely legitimate, their stance. And they even quoted like their website where they committed to their community on this measure, and they agreed internally that this is not one that they were going to do. So just the communication is a massive feather in their cap, and they got my vote for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. I think it's a really cool thing. I'll put the link in the description to the new user agreement. You can read it, write some comments in the description, what you think of it, whether you love it, whether you hate it. Let's create a discussion about it. It seems really cool. So we'll move on to the next thing. This is kind of like not on this list, but basically D-Goods and the NFTs kind of standard is pretty much it's here. Like we're there. Let's talk about it a little bit because this is such a big deal. Because Scatter as well. Let's just integrate this with Scatter. So Scatter have got an article they just did going through their marketplace. And I'll put the link in the description, obviously you can check it out yourself, but it's going to be a whole hub where you can go and you can trade NFTs, SNTs, all the end good standards are going to be on this one place. And you're going to see people, if this really gets big and you see really big games coming on, the bigger the community within that game means the more potential you have to be good at that game and then earn like money from it, have your whole life built around playing that game well. Like, I think you know quite a lot about it, Chris. I think you were talking about it. Like, what is your thoughts on this? It's such a big deal, like creating this marketplace. What do you think?
Yeah, listen, I've already been blown away. You have these cryptocurrency wallets that serve the purpose of kind of holding your tokens or getting access to your tokens. But then when I came on to EOS and I created my accounts and then I opened Token Pocket, I'm blown away. This massive ecosystem of the dApps and everything else that I can interact with right there. And then I went on Meet.one wallet, very similar, EOS links. It was incredible to be able to interact in these types of ways. So yeah, it's
insane.
It's really it's the most fun I've ever had in crypto, and I didn't think we'd be anywhere near this level anytime soon. And then when you talk about like gaming and stuff like that, I have kids. I have 2 kids, a son and a daughter. They're 4 and 2. I think I better get them into gaming as fast as possible. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, this is I said to my dad the other day, because you always used to like get me off the computer as when I was a kid, right? I'm like, Dad, you hindered my ability to make some serious money. Like, I would be a millionaire by now if I was continued gaming. Like, it's gonna be like, obviously, when I think about it, it blows my mind, because like all what matters is, like, say FIFA, for instance, is a game which has millions of players, or you Call of Duty, or you have like Fortnite. Like, it's kind of going to be a bit weird, because like the more people who play the game, right, the more incentive people have to get good at the game, and then you're going to get these huge leaderboards, all these different items, and if things like the DGood standard and things like EOS can be that platform for it, you're going to see these huge like liquidity pools of just like, I don't know, it really does blow your mind how you can have so many gamers incentivized for one thing and having their whole living built around it. Like, at the moment, you can make money through gaming, through advertising rights and Twitch and that kind of stuff. But this is going to make it so you are actually rewarded for your ability within game. So it's just mind-blowing, man. It might come with its negatives as well, because they're going to get so many addicted gamers. Gaming's going to get even more addictive, right?
But if you're addicted and you're making money, is that an addiction? Like, I think like that's pretty all right. If you're making a living on it and you love what you do, I don't think there's any better living that's ever existed. So do it. Game away.
Game away, let's go. Right, that's really interesting. So next thing, let's moving on. So we've got we've got some Dan Larimer tweets we're going to go through. So these are really interesting. It's slightly less like, it is kind of linked to EOS, but we'll go through a main one. So Dan Larimer's tweet was this. He said, "Proof of work becomes completely centralized when quantum leap in computation, or algo, is discovered." Right, so the quantum computing stuff. He says, "DPoS stays decentralized regardless of technological developments. You can hard fork DPoS easily, but creating a new resistant proof of work is very difficult." So again, this is a really interesting tweet. So basically what it's saying is that, quantum computing is coming. Unfortunately, Bitcoin has a shelf life at its current, system, the way it works. It has a shelf life. There's going to be quantum computing coming along. But, with DPoS, you can keep evolving it. So EOS is going to look completely different. It's going to look completely different in 10 years to what it looks today. But the thing is about Bitcoin, it takes a lot more like energy to change what the system is. Like, you look at Ethereum, it's taken 3 or 4 years to change even the smallest thing. So what do you think about this? Do you think this is validating the future for EOS?
I think it's very obvious. This is a conversation that we used to have about 2 years ago, talking about quantum computing, where we're in the digital world, right now, and our team was or is still in building technology, and so this would come up, and it was a big problem. I said quantum computing is going to kill Bitcoin, so what is the real value if you know it's going to die in the future? And then plus it's very hard for these guys to get together and change the system, so it looks like it would just kill itself in the end. So this is very enlightening, an enlightening tweet that I haven't thought about this for some time, and I didn't follow these tweets, but yeah, that's huge, right? If you can change the system and you can quickly change it with your governance layer and who's running the system, then of course it can stand the test of time. And if we can get past the quantum computing problem, then that's huge, and it looks looks like delegated proof of stake is the potential.
Yeah, it's massive. Like, because the question is now is like everyone's saying, well, Bitcoin's going to be digital gold. But the thing about gold is like you can't hard fork gold. Gold is created when a star explodes, right? So no one can really do that. So gold has had its value for so long, for thousands, 5,000 years. The gold which was used 5,000 years ago is still in circulation today, and it still has purchasing power. So like with Bitcoin, yeah, there's the argument it's going to be store of value, you know, like gold. But we have to get over those challenges, and maybe, you know, having, I don't know, we could speculate for days. We love speculating on the channel, right? But it's like, look, Bitcoin hopefully could potentially integrate with EOS in some kind of way, DPoS and proof of work. That's kind of the future. But that's kind of what I'm getting at. But that's kind of it, really. Like, there's not that much news in relation this week, you know, in comparison to what we've had before. I think a lot of people are, you know, held up with the expo. Most of the community's like, you know, talking to each other and doing that kind of great stuff. But is there anything you want to add, Chris? Like, what do you see which is cool going on in your end? You know, Effect.ai.
Yeah, listen, man, you do the news on Monday, so I should remember to release my news on Monday, so I'm the last thing that's spoken about. So we're actually releasing some pretty big news tomorrow in regards to our April 30th token migration to the EOS mainnet for our cryptocurrency called EFX. So there'll be a bunch of information that comes out tomorrow. So if you check out our socials, you'll be able to stay on top and stay in the loop of what we're doing and how we're doing it. I'll leave it there. But we have some pretty cool things that we're working on that I think the technology enthusiasts in the EOS ecosystem are really going to want to see what we've produced in the near future.
Awesome. It's exciting times. Now I think I got an idea what it is, but I'm excited to hear you release that as well. It's gonna be cool, man. But yeah, guys, like, it's literally 15th of April. Like, we've got 1 month and a half till June as well. Like I said, you know, we're kind of it's the calm before the storm, really. Like, you know, we're gonna have all these big dApps coming out. Effect.ai doing their announcement. Just want to say again, massive thanks, Stu, for coming on the show. We're gonna do this every single week on Mondays. EOSwriter.io. Subscribe to the YouTube channel because we're going to do videos on there as well. This is where the videos are going to go. The new feed's coming out, so you'll be able to get to the YouTube from the feed. But if both of them, you know, you can log in now with the EOS Writer. We're doing a login service, so you can log in there, you can comment, and then obviously comment on the YouTube as well. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. You're all legends. Thanks, Chris, for joining us again. We'll get you on next week as well, most likely.
Thanks so much, Max, and thank you everybody for listening to us.
Legend. All right, guys, have a good one. Cheers. Bye.
Oh shit, dude, I forgot to record. I'm just kidding. Sorry. It's one of those days for you, yeah? I needed to add to it, sorry.